Hello, I'm Andrew, and surprise, I'm back again to continue with the reading of my book, Beyond Recovery. I'm all the way to chapter 7 at this point. I'm feeling pretty strong about it. I think I'm closer to the end than the beginning. And I'm enjoying reading this and I'm learning from it. And this is intended to share my experience so that hopefully it'll help someone else in a similar spot. Intended to be read and processed at any point in recovery, but emphasis on a good half a year or a year of sobriety. All right. Chapter 7, the first stage of going beyond. All right. I believe that addicts have the rare ability to hold a thought for so long that it becomes a real thing or a habit. The habit is obsessed about until it becomes a paradigm. A paradigm is defined just as a multitude or collection of habits. The paradigm is obsessed about until it becomes the addict's new identity. I used to be a dentist, now I'm an alcoholic, or I used to be a football player, now I'm an addict, now I'm addicted to pain meds, etc. So it becomes a new identity, which is what I'm trying to avoid here, trying to indicate to people that I chose to have a different identity after I identified my troubles with alcohol. All right, this is how most of us end up in treatment when it has become our new identity. Well, from studying how we become addicts, I was able to notice how a new identity is formed. It's all based on simple processing, but it's an immense mental, spiritual activity in your life. See, if you take the same mental faculties and obsessive willpower and devote all of your time and energy and power towards starting a new business, becoming successful, learning to play a musical instrument, becoming a doctor, or really anything you believe to be good and right, then you will achieve success at it. After all, we all succeeded at becoming addicts. We all succeeded at addiction. I have the ability to obsess about a goal, whether it's getting drunk or being a positive, healthy part of my church. I have that unique ability to be it to the max. It can be considered a talent in this day if you can hold a thought for more than 10 minutes without medication helping. So being able to hold a thought for more than 10 minutes is a talent now. Select a good, wholesome goal, then give it the same intensity that you gave your addiction. In no time, you will receive an award for medical research or become famous for composing a masterpiece or climbing a mountain or changing people's lives for the better. Whereas the old paradigm may have had you checking into treatment for the 5th or 6th or 7th time. I wouldn't expect to hear some of what I'm saying in this book in a treatment center. In other words, this book is saying some different information than they're going to teach you in most treatments. It may have changed. It's been a long time. The suggestion at treatment when I went was stop obsessing. Quit the obsessive behavior. I say obsess. Obsess about joyful, harmonious success. Obsess about a good and wholesome goal. I believe sometimes they don't teach this at treatment because there is no money in the cure. In other words, we won't have you back the fifth time if you're cured. Other treatment centers may honestly be oblivious to this and really believe that their treatment works, even though they see most of the patients several times. It does for about 5% of the people that go, or it did when I went. It was 5% success ratio. Now that's, to me, that's not that fantastic. 5%. What you may have thought of as a handicap or downfall or a character defect is actually a gift if you use it correctly. Think for a moment of all the time, effort, money, etc. that you put into your addiction. I would bet you achieved your goal in becoming an addict if you put the same amount of time, effort, energy, and money, into something constructive and good for you. You'll see it succeed as well. It's my belief that many of the planet Earth's greatest minds are stuck in some treatment center. So I'm saying there's a massive amount of potential within the people that have convinced themselves that their identity is to suffer from being an addict. And some of the most beautiful ideas and things on the planet are not being birthed into manifestation because they're accepting this and staying in a holding pattern. Or in between treatments, resenting themselves for being an addict, or playing the blame and shame game of it's a disease, or overwhelmed with anxiety or self-pity. Let me encourage you to free yourself from this programming. I did. Become the amazing people you were meant to be. If 1% of the world's addicts could change their lives and programming, it would have a major impact on the whole world. You either decided to abuse drugs or alcohol, then you chose it over many other important things. Now it's time to decide to be a great, successful, amazing, and wonderful human being. Then make a choice to put these things in front of other things that aren't as important, or don't serve you, or are not constructive and healthy. Most importantly, choose to put these things in front of any fear-based discouragement or doubt. I decided and chose to give all of my time, energy, and attention to something that was not good for me or the world I lived in. I simply decided and chose to give all of my time, energy, and attention to something good and harmonious with my spiritual beliefs. So I did both. I'm currently trying to become an expert about successful, harmonious living and achieving some of our potential. I believe there would be much more harmonious living in the world today if even a small percentage of addicts would wake up. I believe some of the most superior minds are locked into these bad programs where they never actually set themselves free. Yes, they don't self-destruct, which I guess is better. But I believe some of the most superior, amazing minds are locked in to this bad programming. If I eat a hamburger or sandwich, my body will be at ease because these are reasonable fuel to feed the body. If I ate some household cleaner and unripe berries, my body would be in a state of dis-ease. The spirit is the same way. You feed your spirit with information and beliefs and your own actions. So think and do things you feel are good, helpful, and in line with your beliefs, and your spirit will be at ease, not dis-ease, or it will be at peace. Peace is a wonderful state of being. If I feed my spirit negative thoughts of doubt, worry, fear, resentment, these are toxic emotions, then I'm pretty sure I can expect my spirit and mind to be in a state of dis-ease. to get in touch with the inner good, to develop an awareness of it and how it's unique only to you, then share the information, share the love, share the light. This is why I'm here on this planet. Many other people have the same assignment. Do this until it has made a positive impact and you see the manifestations in your life and others close to you as well. There is an infinite potential for good within every human being. There is infinite potential for good within every human being. Think briefly of all the negative impact on so many people in your life a downward spiral into substance abuse or addiction can have. Pretty vast, right? Let me read that again. Think for a moment of all the negative impact on so many people and your own life a downward spiral of substance abuse and addiction can have. Think about how many people are affected. How big of a wake that leaves. Pretty vast, right? Now, do that backwards. By that, I mean do an upward spiral into peace and joy and happiness. Nobody ever talks about the upward spiral. Everybody's the downward spiral. You can do it in reverse. It's the way an addict, the majority of our minds work. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so happy now. I'm abundant in every area of my life that matters to me. The answer is not out there. It's not out there. The answer is in you. God, universal intelligence, higher power has planted it in you, in your spirit, in your mind. Do not be fooled into thinking that your ability to focus, think, and act upon an idea obsessively until it becomes a reality is a handicap or a disease because you used it to serve yourself with something that was bad for you. Do not be fooled into thinking that your ability to focus, to think, and act upon an idea obsessively until it becomes a reality is a handicap or a disease. It is not a handicap or a disease. I assure you, it is quite the opposite. I personally shifted my attention, energy, and focus in the beginning to success, 1. 2, being a part of my church family. 3, my family. 4, music and painting. I enjoy these things. So I'm obsessed about these things. I'm obsessed about success. I became addicted to success. I became addicted to being a part of my church family. I became addicted to my family. I became addicted to music and painting. I chose these things over all the other things that I used to think were important or made me feel good. They didn't. Eventually, I got so much joy out of these. Okay, I start listing things at this point in chapter 7. So I'm gonna stop here for the day and come back tomorrow to finish up this chapter. I'm starting to get into the real meat of the sandwich here, the real substance of this book. Because when I went through treatment, I was told that I had a disease and I was going to have it for the rest of my life. It's actually a superpower. It's actually a phenomenal gift to be able to obsessively focus on an idea until it becomes a reality. Is manifestation power. Sure, I used it in breach. Well, I don't think it discriminates. So I don't think I used it in breach. I think I chose something that didn't serve me well, and actually brought lots of negativity into my life. So I decided to become addicted to something else and other things. And now, here I am now. All right, I'll be back later. Thanks, I'm Andrew. You've been listening to Beyond Recovery, chapter number 7, the first part. Thanks.